We have to have an uncomfortable conversation about the big three. If you include Blood War, Bleach might be the best of the big three.
What did he say?
What's up, y'all? It's Ice McGowan. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Anime. Today we are talking about Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. The new episode just came out. It's episode 10, I think, episode 10 of season 3. I can't believe it's already been 3 seasons of Blood War. I feel like it just came back, but it's a new episode, and it was fire. It was fire. It was one of those nostalgia flashback episodes, but it was a fight happening at the same time between two Stern Ritters, which was Jugo, which is Yuhabaha's right hand man, and Baz B, which is a fallen Stern Ritter. So they were going at it, but they were childhood friends, and actually Baz B was the one that got Jugo into the game and told him that he can really be a Quincy and he can be him. So they did that flashback. But what I liked about this episode was it didn't do like a separate flashback. You know, they have a whole episode for the flashback. Like, they'd be about to fight and they'd be like, flashback. And it's like, dog, come on. And then there's just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 episodes of just a damn flashback. And then they go back to the fight, and it's like, dog, I forgot the fight was happening with all these flashbacks. They did a really good job of combining the two. They give you a little bit of flashback, then they go back to the fight. Then a little bit of flashback, then back to the fight. So I like that style. It's kind of reminding me of like the Obito Kakashi fight. Now, they aren't the same level as a Obito Kakashi as far as like what they had to go through and their backstory, but it was really dope seeing those two go at it, but also learning about those characters in that moment. And you know, Baz B, you know, from the previous episodes and in the last season as well, he was mad that Yuhabaha even tried to kill him. Like, not purposely, but he was just like, damn, I'm expendable like that, big dog. I'm supposed to be riding for you and you trying to kill me, Yuhabaha. And first off, another thing, Yuhabaha is not even spelled like Yuhabaha sounds. Like, it's not even close. I think it's like YWACH or something like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know in what language, in what world, because I was just in Japan. So I don't know. There was nothing that they said that sounded like it wasn't spelled. I don't know. But Yuhabaha is a dog. And he had a big ass attack that just messed up the Soul Society, a Serite, if you will. And some of the Stern Ritters got caught up in that. And they didn't like that. They didn't like the feeling that they was expendable. You know, you just riding with somebody, you think that's your boy, and all of a sudden, they just like, nah, he can get out of here. Just leave him. Just leave him? The zombies are gonna get me. We've been kicking it this whole time. And you gonna just let me ride like that? You gonna let me die like that? That's crazy. That's crazy, man. And I think it's just like something that I learned. This is a super tangent, but we're here. It's like when you run track, and it's a very individual sport, but they also have the relays. And in the relays, it's like, oh, we're a team. But then when the individual stuff comes, it's just like, hey, we're a team for the 4x1. But if I want to be the 100-meter champ, I'm going to have to beat you, even though you're my teammate. So I think that was kind of where it was, but death instead of racing. That's kind of what I felt like. I think that was the closest to the in life situation that I can compare to that. Because I haven't, thankfully, been in any other type of situation where my life was on the line or somebody played me out and I died. But anywho, it was a great episode. There hasn't really been any bad episodes of 1,000-Year Blood War. I don't think there's been a lot of filler. I know I just said I liked the flashback in the fight, but I think they did have an episode or 2 that was all flashbacks. But it was still good because it showed you the old captains, the old Soul Society. So I do think they did have a couple episodes like that, or half an episode that was like that. They did have some setup episodes, but I'll give them a pass. I'll give them a pass on that. All in all, I think about when I think about Bleach, and I'm gonna get back to the recap, but this is, like I said, it's just gonna be a combination of thoughts. When I think about Bleach, especially with Thousand Year Blood War, I feel like Bleach saw what was going on because the manga been done. Bleach, the animators and Viz and whoever is the people who make it, they saw what was going on in the new anime landscape. They saw Demon Slayer going crazy, Jujutsu Kaisen going crazy, Attack on Titan, My Hero. They saw all of the new guys just wrecking shop with new animation, and they was all like, "Oh!" And I mean, Naruto was done, but Boruto was out, and they saw, they saw One Piece still doing their thing too. F One Piece, but they saw them doing their thing, and it was just like, we need to get in on this. We need to get in on this. They think we was done. We're not done. We still have a whole 1,000-year blood war to talk about. They was like, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? And they pulled a Meek Mill. It took them over 10 years to come back, but they came back with a bang, and they came back with the new animation, and they came back with no fillers. They came back, they say, hey, this is the times that we in. Great animation, no fillers, cool. We gave y'all a 100+ episodes of fillers back in the day during our original run, and we apologize. And what better way to apologize than with actions? That's what they say in relationships and all that. They be like, don't apologize by just saying the words. Do something. Give me your actions. And that's what Bleach did. Bleach came in with the actions. With action. And I'm happy as somebody who had to watch the Bount arc. As somebody who watched the Bount arc, because some of my friends, which I will not forgive, Brennan, hoe ass, and I think Keith, I think you said it too. There was a couple people that was like, yeah, the Bount arc, man, you should watch the Bount arc. It's filler, but it's a good time. It wasn't a good time. It wasn't. I almost quit that show because of that filler. Because how can Ichigo go from when he was wrecking shop, just in case people haven't watched it that are watching this, when he was at a certain point where he just had a huge fight and he was shutting stuff down and he was wrecking shop, automatically going to this filler and just get washed. Get washed. He got washed the entire Bount arc until like the very end. And I know that's kind of shonen a little bit, but I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan of that. And the head of the Bounce, I can't remember homie name with the cut on his face by wherever the cut was at. He just wasn't, none of his cronies, nobody in the Bount arc was just like, you know what, I'm not enjoying this too much, but I'm gonna stay for this person. Or I'm gonna stay for this attack. I'm gonna stay. So I'm like, sometimes good filler gives you something that you'll stay for. There was nothing in that Bount arc. I almost quit the show, okay, because of that. So if you haven't watched Bleach, or you're not finished, or you're in the middle of watching it, skip the Bount arc. Skip the other. There's an other arc too about I forgot these people names. Artbringers, Hellbringers, something bringers, some type of bringers. It happened right after the eyes and stuff. But it's before Blood War. It's something like that. I don't know if that's filler or not, but skip it. Because Blood War kind of talks about it, and if you don't know, you'll be fine. But back to Blood War, and they saw what was going on, and they hit the ground running. They hit the ground running, and they showed y'all why Bleach was in the big three. Like, if there was any doubt of why Bleach was in the big three, because I do believe, as much as I don't like One Piece, I can't help but acknowledge that people love it. But I do think Naruto is the number one popularity-wise, but also, too, just objectively speaking, it's the number one. Just based off of, again, popularity, worldwide impact, all of that. I think the past couple years, One Piece has been able to ascend and be sort of the face, if you will, of the big three, just because Boruto ain't hit like it's supposed to, and it hasn't really carried the mantle or passed the baton. So I will say that of the big three of now, One Piece might be the face, or is the face, just because the other two kind of backed up, and Bleach wasn't there for a while. But Bleach is coming back. I feel like Bleach is showing people, I say all that to say, Bleach is showing people why it was in there. Because I think when stuff like that, with Naruto being how big it was in like 2016, 2017, and now with One Piece being really big and stuff, it's easy to forget Bleach. It's easy to forget that, oh, there's three in the big three. And Bleach came back with Blood War and was just like, nah, I'm here for a reason. I'm one of the big three for a reason. Ichigo is him for a reason. Like, the captains, Zaraki, everybody get the love that they get for a reason. And I think that was dope. I love when people, whether in real life, whether in anime, wherever there's doubt or underrated or underdog. So I do think Bleach is the underdog of the big three. As a Naruto fan, I do believe that Bleach is the underdog, but it's coming back like, nah, dog. I need y'all to know. I need y'all to know why I am him. And they're doing a great job. I think from us finally seeing Yamamoto's Bankais to Ichigo getting the level up, to us finally seeing where the Squad Zero is and where the Soul King is and stuff like that. I think that's dope. It just, to the return of Grimjaw, like, there's so much going on in Blood War to where it's like, this, even if you're a casual Bleach fan, you appreciate it. And I have my dog Keenan. He saw the first season of Bleach, and then he saw the first season of Blood War, and he enjoyed it. He didn't like the first season of Bleach, and I can't say I did either. The first season of Bleach was kind of until Byakuya shows up and was just like, hey, we taking Rukia and stuff. That's when Bleach starts. Like, that's when Bleach starts. Like, you don't really have to watch the first season of Bleach to know what's going on. Just know that Ichigo is a Soul Reaper by accident, and his homeboy, his dog Rukia, who's the actual Soul Reaper, she got taken and she's going to get executed now, and Ichigo wants to go save her. Because that first season is kind of a monster of the week. He's just fighting hollows and stuff. And nothing really happens from what I remember. Because I don't know if Uryu shows up in that first season. I feel like he does, but it's kind of whatever. The real Bleach starts when Rukia gets put on trial for getting executed. But I say all that to say, we got to have an uncomfortable conversation. We have to have an uncomfortable conversation about the big three. If you include Blood War, Bleach might be the best of the big three. Bleach makes a solid argument of being the best of the big three if you include Blood War. Now, again, I just went in on the Bound arc, making me quit the show. I am very aware of the filler. I am aware of they have in the filler about the different Zanpakutos had their own filler and stuff. I get that. Naruto has its fair share of filler. I think amongst the big three has the most filler. I think it's somewhere between 30 to 45%, which is insane. But Naruto is my number one anime. I love Naruto. And there's for a multitude of reasons. I do think even with the filler and the BS and even the Tsukiyomi stuff at the end, I do believe it's the best of the big three. But as a huge Naruto fan, if you said that I don't know how it ends. We'll see how it ends, unless it's a BS ending. But the pace that Blood War is on, if you couple that with previous Bleach and put it against all of Naruto Shippuden, and where One Piece is, and you say Bleach is number one, hey man, I'm arguing you down. The Naruto fan in me is gonna argue you down, but in my heart of hearts, I can't fight that. I think what we're getting right now is taking the big three out of it is just some of the best anime that we've seen, period. The only thing that would have knocked what's going on now is if it had the old dated animation, or even if it was a step under level of animation. Like even if Blood War gave us like Black Clover animation or Seven Deadly Sins animation or like even Fire Force animation, which is still good animation, at least Fire Force and Black Clover, like, but it's still a step down from the Demon Slayers of the world. But Blood War and Bleach was like, nah, we gonna give you, we gonna be where everybody else is at. We're not gonna get nobody a step down. We're not cutting no budgets. We gonna be with the top dogs. And there is no chinks in Bleach's armor right now, man. There's nothing. I can't just really rack in my brain. I didn't find anything, man. And when you start off at a 10, and 10 being Yamamoto fighting Yuhabaha, and him having all those damn bankais, and all 4 of those bankais being insane. When you're right there and you do that, in my head, when I watched it, I'm like, it's not going to get any better than this. It's not going to, there's no way. But it does. But the cool thing about it, it gets better in a different way. It gets better because something else happens. It gets better because they get to go to the Royal Palace. It gets better because you get to see the Stern Ritters come and mess stuff up, and you finally get to see Shinsui's Bankai. It gets better because you get to see Miyuki or whatever, the Orochimaru dude, the captain that I call him with the long face and stuff. You get to see him get into his bag, and you get to see all of these different. You get to see Shinsu's lieutenant, who's just be chilling and never use her Zanpakuto. You get to see her, like, the highs. There are so many highs throughout Blood War that Naruto gonna have to come back, is what I'm saying. Naruto Shippuden is gonna have to do something else or something. Or Boruto is gonna have to be put to the side and brought back with something new. Something is gonna have to happen because Blood War is doing this thing. And I don't know what's going on in One Piece. I'm the last thing that I remember, obviously not from watching it, because who wants to watch that trash? But from what I hear, Gear 5. And I hear Gear 5 was just such a crazy thing. And I've seen how he looks. He looks way different from when he looked from what I remember him. So it looks crazy, white hair and stuff. But I feel like that died down. I feel like that hasn't happened in about a year or so. I know Gear 5 was like last year or maybe the year before last. Something, it's been a minute. So I don't know and I think they just took a break. Either the manga or the anime took a break. Somebody took a break. So this is a perfect time. Perfect time. Before the Infinity Castle comes back, Demon Slayer with Infinity Castle comes out, before Jujutsu Kaisen comes out, before they just said Hell's Paradise coming out in 2026, which is a crazy long time. We gonna damn near forget about the anime at that point. With multiple big dog animes on the horizon of coming back, this is a perfect time for Blood War to strike. They picked it. They picked it. My Hero, I don't know if it stopped. My Hero is in a lull right now. I dropped My Hero earlier this year. I don't know. It just had some weird episodes. After the Todoroki and Dabi fight, I haven't watched it since then. So I am a bunch of episodes back, but I can't say that I'm missing it. This is just a long tangent that I keep going on this tangent, that tangent. But it's all I'm saying is Blood War is him. Blood War is him. And I can't wait till this is finished so we can have a real conversation. It's uncomfortable right now because it's brewing. It's brewing. Everybody's like, hey, you seeing what I'm seeing? You seeing what y'all see that? Y'all looking at Bleach over there? But when it's all said and done, we are really going to have a sit down. We're going to talk. You and I are going to talk, and we're going to rank them. We're going to go back to the big three and rank them. And by that time, I mean, One Piece, 1,000+ episodes, 1,100 episodes. 1,100+ episodes, man. You can damn near combine, because Naruto is 797 episodes in Naruto, not including Boruto. 797 episodes, right? Bleach is, with Blood War, should be approaching 500, or it's more than 300, but it's somewhere around, let's say 420, 430, somewhere around there. You can damn near combine both of those, and they're barely more than One Piece. That's crazy. So when this conversation starts, when Blood War ends, when Bleach is completely done, this is when we're going to have this conversation. Because there is more than enough One Piece episodes out there to justify this conversation. I don't care about Gear 6, Gear 7, Gear 10, Gear 1,000. He about to have more gears than damn near One Piece episodes. I don't give a damn. When Blood War Bleach is finished, we're going to have that conversation. Because there is more than enough One Piece to have that conversation. There is nothing that's going to transpire after Bleach is done that would change anybody's mind. And if it does, then that's just piss poor writing. That's piss poor writing. Something significant that's going to change how you feel about the big three or One Piece happens episode 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. That's trash. And I'm not trying to make this a One Piece hate fest. I'm just saying I don't want to hear anything when we go back once Bleach is finished and have this conversation. And y'all like, wait, no. Just wait until this arc is done and see how you feel. No. I'm not waiting for your arc to be done. Y'all had a gazillion of them. Stand by this. Stand on this. Stand on these gazillion episodes that's already out. I don't care what's coming down the pipeline. Stand on this, and we're going to have a conversation. And by that time, hopefully, I have seen enough One Piece to have a real conversation about it. But I've seen more One Piece than you think I have. I'll just put it like that. I'll leave it at that. You do what you will with that information. That's it. This is a treat for those who still watching. I have seen, you know what, I'm not saying it again. But just know, when that conversation comes around, I'm going to be ready. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And let's be clear. Let's be clear. I am a Naruto fan. Naruto is my favorite anime. Naruto is in my top 5. It is number 1. What's the list? I'll give it to you at some point. Not right now. Dragon Ball Z is in it too. I'll give you number 1 and number 5. Number 1, Naruto. Number 5, Dragon Ball Z. The other 3, we'll talk about on another day. But I say all this to say, as a Naruto fan, I will not let my bias get in the way of the fact that Blood War is on a pace to be the best anime of the big 3. And arguably one of, if not the best animes of 2024. Easily one of the best animes of 2023. It's gonna go into 2025. Gonna be and when it goes into 2025, it's gonna be in a gauntlet. It's gonna be fighting for its life in 2025. Jujutsu Kaisen coming back, Demon Slayer coming back. I don't know if Kaiju number 8 is gonna be back by then. My Hero's probably gonna be back if it's on a hiatus, or it's gonna keep going. It should be wrapping up soon. Like, all of the big dogs, Chainsaw Man, hopefully, is back. I heard One Punch Man should be coming back. Blood War is going to be fighting for its life in 2025. But the pace that it's on, if it comes out on top, I would not be surprised. For the best animes of 2025. Mark my words. Play this back. This time next year, play this back. Play this back. If Bleach stays on the trajectory that it's on, it will be one of the best animes ever and one of the best animes of 2025. And if it's not, if they do some BS, if they do some God of High School, Attack on Titan type of stuff, and it fumbles the bag, I will be here to play my recording back to like, hey man, did you say? You said. You said, and look what happened. If it does that, I will own that up too. But I can only go off of what I see currently. And for what I see currently, Bleach ain't missed. He don't miss. In the heat of battle, it hasn't missed. That's all I gotta say about that, man. That's all I gotta say. Let's go to the chat and see what's going on, what the people are saying. Nah, don't do One Piece like that. You just need to watch it. It's killing it way before the hiatus. Okay. Naruto is 45% filler. See, I ain't blind. I ain't Ray Charles when it comes to Naruto, man. I acknowledge his flaws. But just like all relationships, people come with flaws, baby. People come with flaws. You gotta take it. Yeah, you got 45% filler, but that 55 though? That 55 is better than a lot of people's hundreds. It's better than a lot of people's 95s. Better than a lot of people's 90s, 85s. It's better than what you say. One Piece around 9% filler. It's better than a lot of people's 91s. Yeah, your 55 is better than a lot of people's 91s. Yeah, okay. Let's keep going. Bleach didn't hit hard in the beginning in comparison to One Piece and Naruto because it had he has a that is hilarious. Bleach didn't hit hard out the gate because Ichigo had a great dad. Yeah, that is that's you got if you that's funny and that's facts. That's facts. He had a dad that was there. He was talking him out. First thing in the morning, they was scrapping. But should I sock my son out early in the morning too? And we have a great relationship. That's just kind of how we communicate sometimes. Like, so get your ass up, man. Get up. So he did have a great dad. And I mean, technically speaking, I don't know what happened to Luffy's dad. I don't give a damn. But technically speaking, Naruto dad was great too. Minato was great. He was a Hokage. He was everybody's father. Just like Jesus, I'm everybody's dad. So he had a great one. He just wasn't there. He was just dead. So, but Ichigo definitely had a good dad, and it took him a second to get some adversity. He didn't start with no adversity. I know Luffy was outside with pirates at a young age. He made his mentor, he was the reason his mentor lost his arm. So yeah. So I understand both of them didn't have a great dad. Tanjiro's dad wasn't there either. So he was a good man. He was sick, but he died. I'm just thinking of random people. Who else dad? Who else? I mean, obviously Gon's dad is trash, but that's another story for another day. That is a hilarious point about his dad. What else? So, okay, go back to this comment. Nah, don't do that to One Piece. Don't do One Piece like that. You just need to watch it. It was killing it before its hiatus. Hey, man. Was it, though? I'll give it to you. Gear 5 was huge. Before that, I didn't really hear a lot about One Piece for a minute. Last time I heard about One Piece before Gear 5 is when he was big and stuff, and he was woof woof, he had steam and stuff coming from him. And I don't know if that might be Gear 4. But if the only time One Piece is relevant or the big dog is when he go through the gears, then that's trash. That's trash. That's like saying DBZ is only good when they change Super Saiyan. Because I only had 3 in the original run. If you're not including BSGT, they only had 3 Super Saiyans. And Goku was the only person to go Super Saiyan 3. So they really only had 2. So as crazy as all of the transformations and upgrades of Super Saiyan were, the show wasn't contingent upon it. The Super Saiyans didn't make or break the show. So I say all that to say, Gear 5 was huge. As somebody who doesn't watch One Piece, he was everywhere. Him, whatever he was doing, laughing with the white hair, everywhere. Merch, shirts immediately. They couldn't wait. The episode where he went Gear 5 wasn't even over yet. And they had merch. It had just started. The Viz logo had just came up. They didn't even get to put the ship on the water yet. And they had Gear 5 merch out. So that was a big thing, and I will acknowledge that. But prior to that, it was a little bit silent in these One Piece streets. What else? You just gotta watch it. That's wild. Things have been happening way before that solidifies One Piece. Apparently, what you watched of One Piece doesn't equate to what you watched in Naruto or Bleach. That's a fair assessment. But again, what did I say earlier? I will say this, and this is I don't want this love for Bleach to turn into a hate fest for One Piece. I will say this. Zabuza was episode 17. Zabuza and Haiku fighting Team 7 was episode 17. That's all I gotta say. And I've seen more than 17 episodes of One Piece. That's all. I will say that and I will leave it there. This is the second nugget that you get. The second nugget that you get of where I am in this Naruto. I've seen enough. Okay? I've seen more than 17 episodes. And I tell you, in the amount that I have seen, nothing has hit the level of adversity, of fighting, of intense, anything, any adjectives that you want to use to describe lit. It hasn't met that. We won't even talk about Rock Lee versus Gara, because what I've seen hasn't even got a hold a candle to that fight. But again, I digress. You're a One Piece hater, so of course you're not going to hear anything. I'm just saying, you hear. It's not like I'm blocking it out, though. Again, I acknowledged it. I acknowledged what I saw. I acknowledged how big Gear 5 was. And we didn't hear nothing. The casual anime fan didn't hear about him until he got big. So he was the big, whatever gear, the big steamboat dude, big chest, whatever gear that was. So I'm sure that was a gear. It was that, then it was Gear 5. Now, before that, I think there was some murmurs about Zolo doing his thing. But also, too, I just want to say one thing. Just so y'all know I'm a complete hater. To keep a fan base, or to grow a fan base, I should say, the way that One Piece has, with a gazillion episodes, is amazing. What Oda is doing is damn near unheard of. What Oda has been able to do in One Piece and the animators and everybody that's worked on there to keep somebody's attention span consecutively. It didn't take any breaks like Dragon Ball Z did. Didn't take any breaks like Bleach or Hunter x Hunter. Naruto didn't take any breaks either. It got his shit done, and when it came in and got out. It got finished before One Piece. But to start before a lot of animes and keep going while a lot of animes are started and completed and still not lose your fan base and grow it, that's amazing. I will never, ever, as much as I don't like One Piece, I will never question why it's in the big three. For that reason alone. It's something gotta be there, and it might not be for me. Something has to be there to hold somebody's attention spans for over 1,000 episodes. Something. It ain't for me. I ain't found it yet. I ain't seen it yet. But something has to be there to keep somebody's attention span for 1,000 episodes, because that's insane. That's insane. So shout out to One Piece for that. That's probably the last and first shout out that you'll ever hear me say for One Piece. But game recognized game. It's not even game recognized game. I take my love for Naruto out of it. That's incredible. Because I think there's only a few other shows. I think it's the Detective Conan show. That's the only show that's been running longer or has more episodes. It's some type of kids show or something. It's some show. It's like one or two shows that's been running longer than One Piece that has more episodes. But you don't see them in the Thanksgiving Day parade. So that's what I'll say. That's where I'll leave it. Okay, that's enough love for One Piece for honestly the next decade. But I just want you guys to know that I come from a very objective place, I guess. I try to, at least. But there is that consistent comparison in the back of my head of One Piece to the other two. Because I'm done with the other two. Or caught up on the other two, I guess I will say. Yes, so let me check in. We got some new people in the chat right now. Just want to see if anybody, what's up, y'all? To get into the chat, I don't know if I said this in the beginning, just subscribe to my YouTube. At some point, we'll roll it over to a Patreon. So, get in on this early while it's free. I don't know how long it's going to be free, but it'll be free for the foreseeable future. So get in on this. Get in on this. Show me some love. I think that's it. I think we got a couple people that's in the chat, so I'll talk a little bit more to see if they have anything to say about it. But I think we're done here. I think I've said enough to go back to the main point. Oh, let me just go back to the recap. Let me talk about the recap because I feel like I didn't. Duh. I feel like I didn't recap it enough. So let's do that. Let's get into the recap. All right, to recap this episode, it was two guys, two friends, two Sternritters fighting. Jugo. They were saying a lot of Jugo. I'm gonna go with Jugo. There was Jugo, who is the right-hand man, lead commander of the Sternritters. The next person right under Yuhabaha. He fought his longtime friend, Bass B. Bass Black. And I like when they had them little references and stuff, they referenced their childhood. Because he was like, man, call me Bass, man. Because he kept calling him Bass Black, Bass B. And he was like, man, don't call me that. I'm your boy. I'm your friend, man. Call me Bass, dog. Call me the genius. You remember, you know I called myself the genius back in the day. And I'm not going to call you your full name. He was like, call me Hugenbagen Sligenslef, whatever Jugo's real full name was. He was like, call me. I ain't calling you that. I ain't know that dude. I knew Jugo. I knew Jugo. That's who I knew. And that's what I'm going to call you throughout this entire fight, man. And you know, Jugo was like, nah, dog, I'm going to make you. I'm going to make you say my name. And hey, he handled business. And there was only one of the friends left. And you felt something. You felt something when you saw Mr. Double B's on the ground bleeding, man. I felt a little something. And they did a really good job of showing their friendship and then lack thereof in less than 30 minutes. And you felt something. Maybe not what you felt at the end of Sasuke versus Naruto, because they had 700 plus episodes to show their relationship. But to show a relationship in a short period of time, it hit. It hit. Not as much as in Goku, because they had, an hour and a half, close to 2 hours to get you to fall in love with him before they packed him up. Sorry for the Demon Slayer spoilers, but I mean the stuff been out for they're on season 4 now. If you haven't seen Rengoku get his ass handed to him by Akaza, I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. There's a lot of crazier stuff that's going to happen before and after that, okay? Well, maybe not before that, but after that, definitely. It's not going to be the last body to drop, unfortunately. But I feel like Demon Slayer did a really good job of getting, having you fall in love with Rengoku in a short period of time. So that was kind of reminiscent of that. They gave you a good backstory of their relationship before they got down, or why they was getting down, and it was good. It was a good fight, man. These fights have been great, and they've been so versatile. So versatile. I mean, you getting long range fights with arrows, you getting close up hands, you getting swords, you getting weapons. They really are just getting in a crazy bag. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished is the best way to describe what's going on with Blood War right now, and I couldn't be happier. So I did my best to recap it for the people who already watched it. What did you think? What did you think of this episode? What did you think of Blood War so far? Are you in the same space that I am to think that an uncomfortable conversation is coming? Where do you think? Where do you think Bleach lies with Blood War included? Where does it lie in the big three? I want to holler at y'all. Get at me in the comments. Subscribe to me if you're already not subscribed. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I'm going to be dropping episodes, maybe one or two, at least one, every week. Every week. We got to keep this going. I don't want to keep disappearing on y'all. I want to be consistent, and I'm going to be consistent. And we're going to be talking anime. I got some other stuff that I'm going to be dropping. I filmed some other episodes of my shoe show, and I got 7 episodes of those that I haven't aired. And I'm just going to drop them because I know with the algorithm and anime and all the people that follow me and are subscribed to me are anime fans, and they was like, oh, what is this shoe stuff? But I made it, so I'm going to drop it. I might just make a separate page for that. We don't know, but it's going to get seen either or, okay? But I say all that to say, thank you guys. Ice McGowan. Our next episode, we'll be talking about Psyche K. Psyche K, either later this week or next week, I'm going to talk about Psyche K and Black Clover. Count your days, Black Clover people. We're going to talk about that in a little bit next week. Count your freaking days, all right? I finished it, and we got to talk about it, and I got a bone to pick with all y'all damn Black Clover fans. Hands are coming to you guys after the holidays. Y'all getting hands for the holidays, Black Clover fans, okay? And we'll explain why in a later episode. But you guys have a wonderful holiday. If I don't drop anything before Christmas other than this video, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful Kwanzaa, a wonderful Hanukkah, a wonderful, we don't believe in any of that stuff and we ain't getting no presents and I don't like none of y'all. Any of that. Whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, enjoy it. Love your family, love your people. Peace.